Hello and welcome to the re-recording of episode 87 of the arena. I thought I recorded it yesterday, but it turns out that I merely recording the sound of me munching lunch, which is the part I was trying not to record. So, yeah, I did finish it yesterday, but I have to refinish it because I failed to record the finishing. I don't want to face the lich. I want to first heal myself. So I do have rent. I also made a story yesterday, but since I don't remember it, I will probably make a totally different story. But first, the rent. Starting with Enterprise, co-janitor, which is the Star Trek rent part. There is a species which has 3 genders, all required for mating. Male, female, and cogenitor. Phlox suggests that the cogenitor may be supplying some kind of hormone, but that's not the problem. The problem here is that some guy from said species says that the cogenitor are only 3% of the species, which is really little, and B, that it's about the correct amount, which I find wrong. I think the correct amount would be 33%, or 33.3, just 1/3, in general. Ouch! This didn't, ouch, happen last time. Being ambushed by a lich and something invisible. No, this is not a lich. This is a homunculus and something invisible. Oh, the invisible thing is another homunculus. Yeah, this certainly didn't happen last time. Okay, interesting. So, continuing on. And the fact that only 3% of the population are the cogenitors does explain why the cogenitors are pretty much slaves. Sex slaves, let's say. Because, yeah, with only 3% of them, you would need them to be constantly helping with procreation, and there would be pretty much no time for them to do anything else, so you wouldn't want to give them the option to do anything else. And I pressed enter immediately you and died. Because there was no chance for me to do anything. So, while slavery based on what something is usually bad, in this case I understand why it is done in that culture. It's basically necessary for survival of the species. Unfortunately, Trip does not understand this and teaches the cogenitor, who looks like a human female, about personal rights, which which doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Also, from Star Trek point of view, this would be breaking the Prime Directive if it existed, but it doesn't yet exist. Oh, not yet here. So, since the Prime Directive doesn't yet exist, there is no problem with that. There is just a problem with stupidity. I did some calculation and it would, if every pair of male-female wanted to have about 2.1 children, I specified the number at 2.1, not 2, because there would be some used for the cogenitors and some would die of various causes actually without having children. So, to maintain population, at least 2.1 children per male-female pair would be needed. Every cogenitor would then have to assist with 33.6 children on average. Have you ever heard of a person who had that many children? A human? I have not. Which pretty much means that the cogenitor would have no time for doing anything else. Yeah. Then, when Archer berates Trip for this, which at this point I agree with Archer, Trip says that he did exactly what Archer would have done, which I suspect is correct, even though it does make Archer angry. Saying that would mean that he set a pretty bad example. Because yeah, he did set a pretty bad example. Aiming a species to to destruction through malice. Specifically refusing to cure them because he thought that a different species on the planet was better. He did it at Flox's urging, but still. It was his choice. So yeah, this was pretty bad. And in the end, the cogenitor, when returned to her ship, committed suicide, which Archer said that it's Trip's fault, but at this point I wouldn't expect that to be Trip's fault, because her committing suicide is not something I would have expected. What was expected by me, at least, was that she would attempt to stage a revolution, which had 3 possible outcomes. First, the revolution fails, but only she dies, or is imprisoned, which is pretty much the same. This has no tangible effect. Second option, more people, more cogenitors, join in on the revolution and get killed or imprisoned. This would have an effect in that there would be fewer cogenitors and make things worse for the rest of the cogenitors. And third option, the worst. The revolution succeeds. You see, if the revolution succeeded and the cogenitors were granted personal rights, then they couldn't be forced to assist with procreation. This would in turn mean that they would not do so in such a great amount, and the species would lose great amounts of population. In the end, it would lead to either increasing the amount of cogenitors, or increasing their willingness to procreate through natural selection, as those who are less willing to procreate would not have children. Though this is only if genetic material of cogenitors actually figures into it. If it doesn't, which is entirely possible, then it wouldn't lead to natural selection that quickly. Either way, it would be pretty bad for the species immediately. So yeah, there were no good results from trying to make her think she has personal rights. Not for the species, at least. For her person, if the revolution succeeded, yes. But for the species, it would be terrible. Oh, and there was one more thing in the episode, and that is that Archer was in some kind of stratopod with an alien, and they were trying to outrun a wave on the sort of surface of the sun. I guess some kind of differentiation between a liquid part of the sun and the gaseous part, though technically it should both be just fluid and the pressures be too high for there to be tangible difference. But whatever. The thing is, there is a wave chasing them, and Archer decides that since they can't outrun it, they shall go through it. And he says that he learned that in the ocean. And my comment to that is, yes, in the ocean, the wave is not hot enough to immediately vaporize you, while in a star it obviously is. So, what I expected to happen, well, I would have expected if there wasn't a main character on board that stratopod, was both of them to immediately be vaporized with the stratopod. If regular physics were in play, at least. Luckily for Archer and the other captain, regular physics were not in play, so they weren't instantly vaporized. But still, that was stupid. I also have arrow canaries, and that is, why does Count Vertigo insist on using Vertigo, a hallucinogen, on his darts when he could just coat them with some kind of actual poison and kill his enemies with the darts, rather than make them think he's someone else, and still hostile to the victim. I think that would work better for killing his victims. And that's it. Now let's see how much time is left in the video. Well, I don't know, I forgot to start the timer. So I'll assume that... How much could have passed? 15, 17 minutes? So, set the timer on 13 minutes. Whether or not I guessed correctly, I have no idea. This episode may be longer or shorter. But forgetting to start the timer is not as critical a mistake, so I will not restart the episode. So, yeah, there is that. Why are the leeches screaming so much though? Are they in pain from not having nerves? I think I heard something that the missing body parts can cause phantom pain, and since they don't have nerves to feel their body parts, even though they have them, I suppose it could cause phantom pain all over the body. Then again, I don't suppose they have a brain to feel the pain with. So that would be a bit of a problem. Time to save again. and go further. I don't want to be stuck. And why do I hear homunculi? I read that leeches are supposed to drop something, but apparently these ones are not dropping anything. I pressed enter, then U, and then U, and then died. By the way, second press of U does not cancel the first press of U, so yeah. I died because you didn't pretend not to be pressed. Let's try some tactics. Tactics failed. Hey. Stop shooting at me through walls. Instead, get stuck on corners. Ah? You are not stuck. Ah. I pressed the caps lock because I thought it would enter character menu. It obviously did not. But why are there so many leeches? I know not. My leather boots are broken and that made me drop my bow. I would much prefer not to fight fair with the lich, but at this point I have no chance of making it so. I heard such thing at some point that if you find yourself in a fair fight, someone did something wrong. That is, at least if it's a fight to the death, not a sparring match or something. But yeah, if you're fighting to the death, you should try to win, not give your opponent a chance. I must have used a mark of stamina accidentally by pressing enter accidentally. I can shoot 2 arrows in the time that this leech can shoot like 5 shock balls. And there is a problem when I accidentally imbibe the wrong potion. Leech, stop shooting your shock balls at me and instead die. Well, you can't die. You're dead! You're dead, Jim! Why do all the leeches have specifically red hair, though? Is it some kind of fashion among leeches to dye their hair red? I heard that hair does not rot easily, so I am not surprised they have hair. I am surprised that it's red for all of them. Especially since I think that the what's it called? Melanin, I think, rots while the structure of hair does not. Which means that while the hair itself would stay, I think it wouldn't keep its color unless they were dyeing it. And there is this shock potion again. How many shock balls was that? I don't know, 5? 6? all in a row. If I didn't have resist shock on, I would be dead. Well, from these 3 as well. And that lich is done. Time to save again. I don't need to fight the one in this hallway if I can just run away. And I don't think there are any more liches here, though I may be mistaken. I am mistaken, unfortunately. Heal through. And resist shock is out again. Good thing I bought all those resist shocks. If I hadn't, and there was no indication that I should, by the way, I haven't met liches until this very dungeon, I would have been dead many times over. And since the liches are only found at the bottom of the dungeon, and there is no indication that you will need the resist shock at the start, it is entirely possible to save all over your saves until you start meeting liches and then not be able to come back out to buy potions, and as such lose the game by mistake, I guess. Because you don't know what you need to prepare until you enter and get very deep, and by the time you can't get out. Because you remember a few episodes ago I tried the main door and I couldn't get out of this dungeon, which is the Imperial Palace dungeon. Which makes me think, if this is the dungeon of the Imperial Palace, then it's the place I escaped from in the beginning of the game. The first tutorial dungeon in which you can totally die very easily from rats. Fall over and be disintegrated, lich, or just be disintegrated. My mark is broken, but I didn't use my mark. Oh wait, I accidentally pressed enter the moment I pressed U. And that dropped my arrow, well, bow too. I wasn't even trying to use the mark. And it's interesting that for people who have resist shock but don't have actual armor, the liches are more dangerous in melee. Oh wait, the mark is broken. That's a problem. Because that was the mark of restore stamina. Oh, that lich is dead. I can't restore stamina anymore. That's the wrong save, I think. But I will use it anyway, because otherwise things will lead to confusion, and confusion will lead to death. Another lich is nearby, but I hope I don't need to fight it. Run away! Run away boldly and boldly! Like Baldur! Wait, I don't think Baldur is bald. Specifically, I think he's specified to have blonde hair. Before you stands a great steel door. Its surface is hot, as if behind it lies a great fire. The smell of sulfur and brimstone hangs in the still dead air. The air is still dead. Oh, by the way, Lich, I don't need to fight you. I merely need you to stop shocking me. Because, as I have discovered just yesterday, I know where the thing that Jagar Tharn uses to empower his life is. First, the... Oh, I thought the game froze. Cure poison. Heal true. Heal true. And run away. Failure? At what? Okay, swimming takes up a lot of stamina. But it is what I need to do. And this is supposed to be the end of the episode. Heal true. I fell off because I was using heal true to not die. I fell off again because I was using heal true not to die, huh? Not invincibility. Skeleton ski. I... Okay. See you in the epilogue. But first, save, because I don't want to die and not be able to... So yeah, well, that was a poor place to save. See you in the epilogue. Bye!